Good evening, wonderful people. This is the Noble Woman Show. It's another beautiful moment on the show today. As I told you last week, today's interview is going to be a continuation of what we started last week with a beautiful Oheneyere. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Are you planning a trip or you're going for a holiday with a lot of destinations all over the world? Just decide on where you want to go and see Ryan Travels will take you there. We offer UAE visa, air ticketing, tour packages, hotel reservations, corporate travels, and many more. You can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091 or 0302 408067. You can email Ryan Travels at c.ryantravels@gmail.com. Ryan Travels. You pack, we plan.
Welcome back from the break. This is the Noble Woman Show. The show is brought to you by Ryan Travels. If you need anything with regards to traveling, your ticketing, your visa, anything, the best customer service you can ever have, you can contact Ryan Travels. Ryan Car Rentals. They have any car you need. When you want a car to rent for any occasion, you can contact Ryan Car Rentals. Today on the show, we'll be talking to this beautiful woman who started a beautiful conversation with us last week. And she still has a lot to share with us, trust me. If she was not power-packed, we wouldn't have a second part of her interview. I bet you today's on is going to be something else because she's going to share her story with us. Welcome, Mami, to the show.
Thank you.
Before you share your story with us, when you are down and you're crying, we are just continuing for where we stopped. Your low moments, you're alone. No one sees you on social media.
Right.
No one sees you on television.
Right.
Because you're a human being, you definitely go down. What brings you up?
Thank you very much for having me for the second part, or part two of it. Sometimes I just have to encourage myself. Sometimes I remember some good times I've had. Sometimes I remember what my dad would have told me if he were alive. Sometimes I read books. Sometimes I watch inspirational, but most ultimately I worship. I play song and I worship and I will sing and I'll pray and I feel better. And sometimes so I talk to people. I say that, with people like me, you can't have your story out there. You can't be talking to everybody, just like that. But you need some people in your life that you need to talk to. I am not a believer of, keep everything to yourself and pray. No. You need someone. I call such people your Elizabeth. The Bible, when you talked about when Mary, mother of Jesus, realized she went and she was having challenge, she went to Elizabeth to go and seek counsel. You need somebody you can talk to who will tell you the truth, who will tell you, yes, I understand, you will cry with you, but then will help you go through it and tell you that, yes, this is where you went wrong, this is where you are right, but this is what you can do to make things better. Or to tell you that, listen, this one you can't do anything about it, just let it go. You will cry, but then you overcome. It will tell you that it's a storm and it will settle. So I have clinical psychologist friends like Norte Dua, like Ako Hefron, like Dr. Amma Edwin. I have like Dr. Beatrice. I have people that I can talk to depending on what I am going through. Because sometimes my low moment and stress and frustration is not got to do with anything personal. It's just about maybe stress from work or, getting people. I'm somebody, when you come here sometimes, even today when you come, you realize that there was a lady, an elderly person who just wanted to come and talk to me. But because of this interview, I couldn't even have enough time for her. We've rescheduled. She just wants to talk to me. She's older than me. She can give back to me. But she just wants to. And sometimes you come here Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's like a queue. People just want to come. And sometimes they come and pour, and the burden is so much. And I'm so pained. And because I'm a very passionate and emotional person, that I need to go and offload on somebody. And you take a professional psychologist to talk to, who will help you and say, okay, I know why you're feeling this. Yet it's somebody's problem. Yes, but this is what you can do. This is what you can't do this about it. So deal with what you can, and what you can't, just pray and hope that it will go. So I do, it's a combination. But sometimes I just sit on the floor and cry and cry and cry and cry till I am okay.
Okay.
Then I get up. But the worst part is when I become silent and I don't talk. And I am just quiet and moody, and that bit is always dangerous. And I had to work on myself. If you read my book, 50 Nuggets at 50, I talk about, my silent treatment. Where I took into marriage, where when I'm really hurt, I can be there with you for weeks, and I'll not say a word to you because I'm hurt and broken, and I don't want to say, because I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want to say something that I'll regret. So I will just keep it in. But I realized it wasn't doing me any good. So thank God I worked on myself with the help of others. I've been able to overcome that. So now, I tell you, and then we are gone.
Did you, climbing your success ladder throughout these years, did you ever get to a point where you felt like giving up on yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And again, when you read my books, I talk about where it got to a point where I felt suicidal. I felt like ending it all.
What caused that? What can you share with us?
The first one, can you believe broken heart? The first one's a broken heart. Can you believe it? Today I sit there and look at everybody. And the second one was, when I felt I was losing everything. My world, it seemed so dark. Everything was leaving me. Everything was coming to an end, and I just didn't know what to do. So all sort of things were going through my mind. And I was depressed. That's why depression is a very dangerous thing, and people must look out for. Depression is something you don't need to joke with. When somebody tells you that they are going through a situation, irrespective of how silly you think it is, don't just say, oh, wait there, just forget about it, we'll go. Just no. If you can be there for the person, be there for the person. Because just yesterday, my social media, my Facebook inbox, somebody sent me a message that she's a young girl, obviously a young girl, and she's lost, she doesn't know what to do, and she's been writing, she failed in her mathematics, and she's been trying to get it right, and other people, their parents, they failed in other subjects and their parents helped them, but her own parent told her that, it's simple mathematics, she can't get, she's daft, and they don't want to have anything. But can I believe which parent does that? Sometimes she feels like ending it all.
Oh.
So immediately, I have to be there, counsel her, tell her this and that. Because you will ignore it, and the next moment, you hear that she's killed herself. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
You're a chief's wife.
Yes.
And earlier on when you were talking, you said that you were a Christian. So before you decided to say yes to him, you needed to consider a lot of things before saying yes.
Right.
Now you've said yes.
Yeah.
And you've been in it for the past 5 years.
Yes.
How are you blending your Christian life to these traditional settings? Because in a Ghanaian thing, it's a traditional when that's what we say.
Yeah.
So Christoni, you can't stop. You have to be by your man, your husband.
Yeah.
How are you blending it?
Okay. First of all, let me say this. I say this to the glory of God, that since I got married to him, something that has never been done before, we do have church service in the palace.
Whoa.
Yeah. When you come to the center or the forecourt of it, there's this, center there where they pour libation. That is where we have our church services there. During Christmas, special Christmas day. One of the reasons that I was worried about is the libation. I mean, I'm a Christian. I have so many fathers, spiritual fathers, spiritual mothers. So it was, some of them were not happy, to be busy. Said, how can you do this and that? But there were few who said that, remember Esther. Esther went to the palace for a purpose. So maybe God is sending you there for a purpose. I even have goosebumps even as I tell you that. And I did ask myself, it hasn't been easy going to the palace, as the chief's wife. Many challenges, many attacks. But through it all, I say to the glory of God that I have found my purpose. I have found my, my space in there to operate. First of all, I set up the library for them, the children. Wow. And I got people, that's 4 years ago during my birthday, I asked people to give me, donate books for me to go and set up a library for the children, because I love kids. I didn't have a child yet. I love kids, and I used to go, and when I go there, the kids will come around me, and then I'll tell them stories. And then one day, I ran out of stories. So I told them to go and bring their storybooks, and they were looking at me like, "Mommy, storybooks is a cover storybook going." But I grew up in Tema, irrespective of despite my, challenging upbringing. I loved reading. My father encouraged us to read, and I would walk from Tema Community to come to one library to go and get a book. Sometimes I'd go and sit there 4 or 5 hours to read and finish books, and then bring some home. By the time I get home, I finish reading it, walking and reading. That's me. My best subjects in school were literature, from primary to secondary to, tertiary. I loved literature. I loved reading. So I was, taken aback, like, what? You don't have storybooks. It sounded so strange to me. So I decided to look for storybooks for them, and then set up a kind of a reading clinic. I got so many books. Now, where to keep the books became a problem. So I asked my husband for a place, and he gave me some dilapidated structure. Some rundown structure.
So you
Again,
had to work on it.
I had to go back to my friends on social media to appeal for funds, and then people helped me. I renovated 2 classrooms. We turned it to the library.
Wow.
I call it the most colorful library in the whole of the world. You know why? Because when I come to you, Gabriella, give me paint, you give me red. I go to Ajoa, give me paint, you give me yellow. So when I start painting the red, it's finished, and I'll continue with yellow. Then I'll continue with pink, and then I'll continue with, I just say this, like, sometimes we want to wait till we have a lot before we can do something. But with the little that we have, when we apply it, we'll be amazed what we can achieve. Okay. It's all about how you wear it. I tell people that I love titles. If I had my own way, I'll use all my titles. I love titles. But the titles don't make me. I make that title. Oheneyere title has been there for years. Some people say, I'm doing something No, the title Oheneyere was given to me by my husband and his people, because it's a title that was there, that they give to the wives of the Oheneyere, the chiefs of towns, and, kind of thing. So when he gave it to me, but it's because of how I used it. That's why it's become very popular now, and everybody is hearing it.
Okay.
When now there are people who are married to bigger chiefs, who are also Oheneyere. But as soon as you mention Oheneyere, the first name that comes to your name is Gifty Anti. Why? It's because of the way I used it. So I set up the library for Edumasa. Within 1 year, less than 1 year, the literacy rate of the children there shot up from 40-something to 80-something%.
Wow.
And the number of children who use the library is not just Idumasa, all the other villages and towns around it. And up to today, the whole of Esujaman district, that library that I started, like joke, is the only library that is attached to school. My husband made sure that the teachers, they have 1 hour reading time for all the school children. So every day, they go to the library 1 hour to go and read as part of their curriculum.
Wow.
Yes.
Then you've really supported your husband in this
And then, because my
Right.
husband is somebody who believes in education, so he was thinking about building a big structure, like a, a school, which
Yeah.
he's still, working on, the air-conditioned school for Edumasa. But I also thought about the little things that
Yeah.
they need in the meantime. So we complemented each other. Now that library is what they use for everything. When they did the registration exercise, national identification,
That's what
they
they
get every they use. So I'm always fighting and say, don't mess up my library, because one city or one city car is not, And I pay the librarian myself from my salary, from my pocket.
Okay.
That's what I do. Then I started a Happy Feet, getting shoes, brand new shoes. And those watching me, please, Christmas is coming again. Donate one shoe, okay, for the children in the village. One brand new shoe. Don't give me dilapidated shoes or worn out shoes. I beg you. Brand new shoes. I take it to the children around then, and I'll give you pictures which you can show around that. About 10 communities, towns and villages. They all come there. When they come in their numbers, each one gets a brand new shoe for Christmas.
Wow.
And people ask me why. I said, because shoes gives you some kind of confidence.
Yeah.
And especially as a kid during Christmas, it makes them so happy. It just brings out their spirit. And for me, symbolically, getting a new shoe means a new beginning. And at the end of the year, starting a new year, a new beginning, a new direction, a new level. And always that's my prayer for the children.
Okay.
That God takes them up, that they learn something new, directs their path. So I did the Happy Feet for them, and during Christmas or Easter, I go around the old people, I go and visit them, something small I can give them. I do when I go, I guess I hear something here, I go and lobby. I am doing my bit for his people. I don't come from there. And let me put this one on. Oheneyere does not mean the Queen Mother. I am not the Queen Mother of Edumasa.
Okay, so this thing where when they have a chief of a village or anything, they give the person Oheneyere.
Yeah.
Did it happen to your husband? Did they give him? does he
Not
have
yet. And I've told him that when it happens, he will have to marry the Oheneyere.
But would it happen? Is it something they are planning to do, to give him Oheneyere?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I'm sure maybe it might have been, but I know that not something that you would tell me, oh, no, I won't do it. I don't know.
But what if they are forcing it on him? What would you do?
He's the chief. Who can force you to do something?
And
You know how you've watched that movie Coming to America?
Yes.
And the wife told him, I thought you were the king. You are the chief. So who can force you? Because it is not mandatory. It is optional.
Okay.
You do not commit a taboo or a crime if you refuse. His paramount chief, Odunohoko Afuakoto, doesn't have a Oheneyere,
Okay.
doesn't have a true wife. So if he decides that, they are pressure, and then that means he wants to do it.
Okay. So when he decides to do, let's say,
Yeah.
what if the what ifs? What
Yeah.
if he wants to do it? What would you do?
Oh, he himself has interviewed me before, and we're sitting here, and he asked me, so what would I do? And I told him that he's a fine man who deserves just one wife, because that thing about second wife and having extra women around, atrium am criticism, it's just so outmoded. So since he's a fine man and I respect him so much, if he thinks he needs another woman, that means I have something that woman, I lack something that woman has. So I will let him have that woman so that he'll still be respected as the chief with the sword, the fine chief with one wife. So I'll let him have it. Then I can, I'll be Oheneyere. just, yeah.
Mommy, what inspires you?
A lot of things. People like you inspire me. When I see young people trying to do greater things, to make something out of their life, to aspire to greatness, it inspires me. I mean, when I see women doing well, when I see people who have come through my life, who've been close to me before, do great things, turn their lives around, it inspires me. So many things inspire me. My little girl inspires me every day when she says something. Yesterday she told me, Mommy, it's not funny. Stop laughing. I said, oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, I laugh. And then today I said, today is, that's today, the day we did the 15th October. I said, today is me and Daddy's special day. I said, it's my day too. I said, okay. Because actually, she was actually, her outdooring was on our wedding anniversary, you know, 3 years ago, 2 years, we had it 2 years, so 3 years ago. We're doing our second anniversary, that's when we named her. So she said, and after we were saying it's gone into her head, said, you know, it's my day too. I said, yo, madam, why? It's your day too. You know, but so many things inspire, little things, you know, get me excited. Little things I appreciate. I'm very appreciative person, you know, because my father raised me up with the notion that apart from your mother and your father, who have a responsibility towards you, any other person who does something for you is out of, you know, love, out of their own voluntary will. Nobody owes you anything.
Okay.
Nobody owes you anything, you know. But when people do something for you, irrespective of what you think you've done for them, they don't owe you that.
Okay. Considering the age at which you married, 45.
Yes.
When you were getting married, were you thinking of the fact that, okay, this is just going to be a companionship marriage, or you knew you would give birth, or you didn't mind giving birth, or it was never part of your plans? Me wa fine, ma wa fine.
When I was going to get married, I had been told that it was near impossible for me to have a child. In fact, I didn't think I would have a child. And I told my husband about that. He knew it. I told his mother about it. She knew it. I told whoever matters that I've been told that I may not have a child. I had tried before I got married. You know, I tried. I mean, it happened. I tried. Even if it didn't happen. So he just knew it, that it might not happen. And he said, okay, but because he already had kids, he had 3 kids. So it wasn't a big deal. I went into the marriage not with the expectation of having a child.
So it was more
but I
of
was
like
hoping
a companionship thing
more
for
of a
you.
companion thing. Yeah. But then, thank God for his mercies. He makes all things beautiful in his own time. You know, I just wonder all those years I tried, how come it didn't happen? You know, but I went to the hospitals for surgery for something else. And then my doctor said that, but your womb is fine. You can have a child with a little treatment. This can happen. So let's try it.
Okay.
And we tried it. Then we have that little bundle of joy.
And when she came, whoa. So when the first day that you heard that you were pregnant, how was the feeling like?
Oh Lord, that day, trust me, I can't express the feeling. I was confused. I was actually confused, honestly. I don't remember, you know. So I was so confused that they had to give me injection that made me drowsy for like two days. So I was confirmed pregnant on 24th December 2016. It was 26th December 2016. That's when it really came back to me that I was pregnant. I cried. And I just thanked God and I praised God, and, you know, and I was just overwhelmed. I was just overwhelmed by it. But it was such a blessing. And I just thank God that my pregnancy journey wasn't that difficult. No, I didn't have, of course.
Did you go through a CS or?
Yeah.
Okay.
CS. I mean, I was told right from the beginning that it would be a cesarean. 1, because of my age. 2, I had a fibroid that was in front of the womb. You know, so my Dr. Padiaite wasn't going to risk it. Okay. You know, he just right from the beginning said, it's going to be a CS, so prepare. Okay. You know, for that. So it was a CS straight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question. This one is mother and daughter thing.
Okay.
You have a daughter. Okay. Did you have a child before marriage?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you've never given birth?
No.
Okay. So
it's
this
my
your
first child. My first, a biological child.
Okay.
But I have many children.
Yeah. For the past 3 years or 2 years in
3
her
years.
life, do you think you have been a good mother? No, man. This one, yes, no. I don't maybe.
I don't know, honestly, because I'm giving her my everything. You know, I'm looking out for her interest, but sometimes I feel horrible because I have to drag her along with me to everywhere I go. And sometimes when I see her, she's so tired and she sleeps in the car whilst we are in traffic. I feel so horrible, like a terrible mother. And I wrote that on, social media. And sometimes when I have to wake her up early for us to come to work, because now that they are home, I can't leave her. Maybe I'm paranoid. But then my niece, Lydia Japoma, God bless her, who I had so much faith in, who I could leave her with and go wherever, travel outside this country. She's also had her own baby, so she has to go to her husband's home. So yes, my house help is very helpful, but she's not able to handle her the way Lydia would have.
You're not answering my question.
I honestly, I can't say.
I want you to
I
say
feel
yes
I'm not
or
being
no.
the best.
Why?
Because
you don't have time, or because you're not
as
considering her?
As for time, I have time everywhere. Even as we go, she's out there, she's studying. I go, as for time, I have time with her. I spend my time. I cut off my social, social life because of her. Like, I don't go out with friends. I don't go in because when I feel she's too tired, I can't go with her. I spent her, but sometimes I feel that I stress her too much. Okay. I'm so grateful because I look at her and tell her that, thank you for choosing me as a mother.
Exactly.
Because I had tried in the past, none of them stayed. But this one she can. Sometimes I say, dude, I'm sure God asked you that. Are you sure you want to go to this woman? This woman who is all over the place, busy and all that. And she said, yes, I want to go to this. So everything I do now, I consider her. I consider her, and I pray and hope that I'm a good mother. I'm a good mother. I don't think I'm the best mother. I want to be the best mother, the best thing in her life.
You are, actually. Thank you so much, Mami, for coming to the show.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to host you on my show.
And let me wish everybody a Merry Christmas and say that though the year is coming to an end, your life is not coming to an end. It's just a calendar year. So whatever dreams, whatever aspiration you had and it hadn't come to pass, it doesn't mean that it's ended. There's always next year. Once you have life, that's the most important thing. The most powerful thing you can get, the most important gift God gives us is life. Once you have life, everything and anything is possible. So keep hope alive. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you give up, I'll come to your house and whip you. And whip you like I'm going to whip you.
It's been an amazing time here today on the Noble Woman Show with my mother, Oheneyere Gifty Anti. I hope you have been blessed. You have learnt a lot. You've been inspired. You've been motivated, because I have been on the show listening to her. You'll never be the same when you have an encounter with this woman. She's a lot in one. Thank you so much for being with us today on the show. The show was brought to you by Suicidal Travels and Suicidal Car Rentals. My hair was styled by Lizzie Beauty Center. You can locate her at Mataheko opposite 1+1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you same time next week. Have a Merry Christmas.
Then